I want to welcome you to Blind Squirrel Motorsports, where the current project is a 36 International. Follow along and have fun.
Okay, so we promised to do some video on this. This will be our first attempt. Previous ones failed. I've already done the work on this block, but I'm still going to walk you through how easy this is to do. First of all, we're going to set up the carbide cutter. We need the taper piece that fits into the valve area. We want to make sure that that fits well and doesn't touch on anything on the outside. And the next thing that we'll do is we'll assemble the carbide cutter that will cut the valve guide to a size so that the guide liners can be driven into place. This is pretty simple. It's a pretty small group of items. This guide actually fits into this adapter. There are different size adapters for different valve size.
Alright, I realized we had some audio issues, but we didn't have a microphone on hand at the time. We do now, and I promise we'll do better. So you'll find a little audio dubbing in some spots, but most of it we're just going to let it play, and we'll do better next time, like I said.
Small block Chevy heads or any other kind of Mopar Ford head. But this is how easy this is. This all just goes together. We attach our air hammer drill to it. Can't set it completely down in it because this one already has a guide in it, but you would set it back down in top, attach your air hammer, and you're supposed to drive it through within 3 to 5 seconds. You want to keep the chatter down. If it starts to chatter, you're supposed to put a little bit more pressure on it. It worked just fabulously. I mean, it's an awesome setup. I really like this. So on to the next piece, and I'll show you what's next. Alright, so after that's done, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the supplied brush, and we're going to clean each of the bores out. They have a specific set of instructions that says use the cleaning fluid, clean 4 of them, go to the next 4, go to the next 4, whatever. Really, guys, if you're not cleaning your stuff exceptionally well, I mean so well that you could literally eat off of it, you're not building an engine that has a chance to last. It needs to be clean. Everything needs to fit together properly to specs. It's just got to be clean. Alright, so anyway, on with the next part. So then what we're going to do is we're going to drive these guides in, imprinted on them so you know that which way is down. You take the driver, and this goes in the air tool also, goes in this end. This piece just slips on the end of it, and you center it well, and you drive it down with the air tool. Moderate pressure, you'll hear, in my case with the block, and probably with heads too, you'll actually hear a tone change when it's driven all the way home. You need to stop at that point. The reason why you drive it all the way down, I actually wanted to leave it the other way and leave them up at the top so that I could take the cutter and cut the top of it and not have to have the problem that I'll show you in a minute, is because it is tapered. The instructions say to drive it all the way home, so that's what I chose to do. I just had to make an adjustment with the guide cutter to make it work properly. So, on to the next part. Alright, so after you have all the guides driven to the depth that you want them, the next step is to actually size them. We're going to size them before we trim the excess on. The reason for that is actually as we size it, it's going to elongate the guide itself. That material has to go somewhere. It ends out at the end of the old guide, and so you just trim everything off at once, and it works pretty well. Now, the way that you do this is, I know my exhaust valves are 0.371 on the stems, so you're supposed to use a ball that's 1/1000th larger than your finished size, and your finished size in this case by standard to this motor is between 2 to 4/1000 clearance. I'm going to go ahead and use a 373 ball just for show right now, and all you do is drop it into the top of the guide, and you take your air driver again, your air hammer, set it moderate speed, place Place it over the center of the ball and guide it for a little bit till you get it started. And then place your hand underneath to catch your balls. And it's as simple as that. And you do each one of those. Check your fitment of your valve. And hang on, I'll grab one and I'll show you where we're at right now. Okay, so here's an exhaust valve for the hole that we just did. And like I said, you can check it, but it's still going to be way too tight. See, there's no movement at all. And that's why they suggest when you do this, you have an assortment of different size balls. Like I said, I started with the 373. I actually end up finishing with, depending on the valve, and each one of them are measured independently. And then you can take actually a finish home brush and clean up anything that you think might be a little bit of a burr or anything like that. I haven't found any, but you can do just a little bit of finish work if it's just not quite what you're after. The trick, they say, let's see, we've done this one down here. Fit this one completely. Let's see where we're at on this one. They say when it's done right, and I've already cut the seat on this one too, but you should just, if it's dry, you should just barely feel a wiggle in there. I personally like measurements, but if you just feel just a little bit of a wiggle, you're good. If you put oil on it and that wiggle just goes away, that's perfect too. I've already cut this seat, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like when it's done. They say that a valve that's centered in its seat properly will bounce just that little bit. You can hear that tone. If it's not, it'll just go dead because it's hitting only on one side. This one's actually just absolutely fabulous. That's exactly where I like it. So let's get on with the trimming, the fun part. Okay, so the cutter they give you is this long, and it has a guide. You have to get a guide for each one of the sizes of the different guides that you're working with. But the guide is only this long, and to try to get it to work, to cut, just wasn't going to happen. So what I did is I actually had a piece of heavy-duty stainless steel tubing, and I put a set screw in it, and it was almost a force fit inside. Put a set screw in it, ground it smooth so it wouldn't run into my tappets, and this is what we use to trim the guides with. So we'll go down below here and show you that.